With the brand new Uprising set comes a new style of edition that Flesh and Blood has just introduced. It's no longer first edition, it's no longer unlimited, it's just one main set. Which brings us to the question, which will be better, the cold foil or the rainbow foil? In this video you'll find out, so let's get into it. Thank you for tuning in, it is Gabe, and today I'm telling you why you should be buying cold foils over rainbow foils in the new Uprising set. To start with the first, this is the most important, it's the first spot you should be arriving at is, can you afford the price difference? With these cards, some of them have a very hefty price difference. All the prices that I'm getting through this video are from TCG Player, so you might be able to shop elsewhere a little cheaper. Discord, Facebook, your friend's local garage sale, I do not know, but these are just off of TCG Player. Blood at Your Cry is the first one I'm going to be talking about. You can buy it for about $125 for the rainbow foil. And then the cold foils can be $325. Crown of Providence is $150 for a rainbow foil. Then it's $270 for the cold. Flame Scale Furnace for a rainbow foil is $140. For the cold foil, it's $190. Tiger Stripe Shukio is $88 for a rainbow foil, $135 for a cold foil. Now, what does that all mean? I just listed off a huge range of prices. And you're like, where does that go? But we don't know. But I do, that's the thing. So I averaged all the numbers together to find the average price between the cold foil as well as the rainbow foil, or vice versa, however you want to look at it. So the average price between those cards was $77. But there's an issue. That doesn't feel weighted correctly, you know? And so I thought about it some more. 4 of those 7 cards were nearly doubled in value between the rainbow foil and the cold foil counterpart. And that is a huge chunk of change. So the answer brings us right back around to it. Can you afford the difference? If you can comfortably afford $50 difference for your cold foil versus the rainbow foil, why not? But if the $200 is too much for you, where you're like, wow, I could buy a couple more pieces of gear, I could build up a whole new deck, why would I want to spend $200? Those are the questions you're gonna have to ask yourself. Can you physically afford it? Can you budget it into your play style? So if the answer is yes, I can afford it. It might make my nose bleed, but I can still play the game and have my cold foil. Let's get on to the next 2 questions. Currently, if you're liking what you're watching, subscribe right down below. Hit that notification bell, turn the ringer on. And then what you also can do, you can always like it. That shows that you're actually thinking I'm not half bad. But if you don't like it, dislike it, I can still see the dislikes, so we're doing good there. Bringing into number 2, here is another huge topic, which is the reason I am solely proud to own cold foils and I want to own cold foils, is the reprint policy of cold foils. Booster set cold foils effective from Uprising. A card printed using the cold foil printing technique included in standalone, expansion, or history pack booster set will never be printed as cold foil again outside the original product which released it, with the exception of cold foil prize cards. Clause of this policy: for avoidance or doubt, a card printed using cold foil can be reprinted using other printing techniques such as rainbow foil or non-foil. What does that mean? That's a whole lot of jarble that doesn't necessarily make complete sense if you read it too quick or you just read it with one eye and the other eye is kind of going the wrong way. But let me tell you all about it. Basically, it's a reserve list where if you have a card in cold foil or you buy a card in cold foil, LSS is not going to reprint that card in that cold foil ever again. Yes, there's a clause they can print as a promo, but usually that turns out to be the gold promo. The gold cold foil, as you see as the PTI winners events, from like Battle Hardens to Callings to Pro Tours and so on. Those are most likely the references to the cold foils they're talking about. So your cold foils you own are fine. They're going to have a better chance at sustaining their value than a rainbow foil counterpart, which can get reprinted a bajillion times. Will Flesh and Blood reprint them a bajillion times? Most likely not. But there's always that chance. We know Flesh and Blood likes to downgrade their foil process as cards reach throughout the set to make the first couple of printings the most valuable and the most sought after. But having cold foils be printed with that protection adds more safety and confidence in the buyer of holding this card for a long time. Because when you buy your equipment, usually you can be holding those for a long time due to that's the class that you play. And so you don't want to buy an equipment for $200 and then a couple months later it drops in value because it got reprinted. No, you want to keep your expensive cold foil at the price. You don't want to get hosed. That is why cold foils are the safest route to go to maintain their value. Yes, they can always drift or they can go up. It's just depending on the market and the ebbs and flows. I myself personally buy cold foils every single time that I can afford the difference comfortably. And that's what I recommend with you as well. The final thought, number 3. This one is the most irrelevant, but it's also my favorite, is do you like the shine? Do you like the shiny, the Smeagol, the precious, my Gollum? Oh God, this is great. Yes, cold foils have a specific look to them compared to the rainbow foils, which is bling. You got gold chains on. Like, you feel good walking into a tournament, having your cold foil set out, looking at it. Like, it's one of those things that you can just stare off into the moon and just wonder, wow, what's the meaning of all this if it's not to have cold foils? Cold foils add prestige, they add shine, they make your deck look better. It's wearing real Birkenstocks versus these Birkenstocks, which I got at Walmart for $10. I'd probably wear Birkenstocks, but these are $10 compared to the $150. It's that difference. Where if someone sees me on the streets, like, what are those knockoffs? But then you see the person with the Birkenstocks, like, wow, those are some nice shoes. It's one of those where it just adds prestige and cleanliness to the card. It does not affect the playability of the card, it's just wearing the designer version versus the generic version. But my final conclusion, my final thought is, if you can comfortably afford the difference without breaking the bank, without having your mom kick you out of the basement, without having your girlfriend throw you in the washing machine, I would say buy the difference, buy the cold foil. It will most likely retain its value a lot longer, if not appreciate in value versus its counterpart. But I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just a kid in my mom's closet under the washing machine, not knowing what's going on. This has just been my opinion. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far into the video, you're the homie, you're the G. If you ever see me in public, I'll give you stickers if I have them on me, for sure, for sure. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.